Good. All right. So we're going to start with what. Yeah, I want to put Caleb up here, but he's in a dinosaur costume. It's awesome. But we're going to start with holiday words. What have you been doing is what people typically ask, especially teenagers, but everybody does. They're like, hey, what have you been up to? So we're going to start with I have been, and then I'm going to teach you how to say what you've been doing, and we can add to it. So let me add that over there. I have been, there it is, in the chat room. So this is called the past participle. And I have is a, just a. So let me come over here. You're gonna need, let's see, uno, dos, tres. It's okay, tres listas para esta parte. Okay. So he estado, or estado, is kind of how it's gonna sound. He estado is I have been. E is I have, that's the have part. And then estado is been. Estado. Oops. Okay. I know I mess up, but I want to mess up so quick. I need a little bit more time of some correctness. He estado. Y mi marcador no está bien. Estado. I have been. So if I want to say you have been or have you been, it's us. And then the estado stays the same. It doesn't change. Oops. That's something. I need to make it be quiet. Un momento. Lo siento. ¿Dónde estamos? So he estado or has estado. Estado, again, it's just a participle. It doesn't care if you're a boy, a girl, singular, plural, the Pope, an elephant. It doesn't care what you are. Estado stays the same. So a is I have, and has is you have or have you. So if we make a question for that. And then he has been doing, or she has been doing, third person is a. Has a. He estado, has estado, ha estado, ha estado. It's not really a way to draw this. First person, second person, third person. This is all in the singular. And this is what have you been. Now, the doing part is the part that we're going to change. So I'm going to teach you how to make it doing. So if you want to say, I have been practicing a lot, you don't have to say what you've been practicing. You just take your verb. Okay, no me gusta este marcador. Un momento. You just take your verb, practicar, and we make it into an ing verb. He estado practicando. I have been practicing. That's a cognate, so I'm not going to draw anything for it. He estado practicando, and then you can say mi español, or baloncesto, or baseball, or whatever it is that you've been practicing. Or you could just say, he estado practicando mucho. And they know what you're talking about because they know your life. They know you play volleyball or soccer or whatever it is. So what are some other verbs we can say? So if somebody says, hey, what you been up to? What you been doing with yourself lately? He estado, what?
Playing.
Okay, jugando. But don't tell that to your grandparents. Tell them you've been studying or something. Estudiando. But jugando, yeah. Unless you say he estado jugando, what? Baloncesto? O videojuegos, Caleb.
Videojuegos.
Oh.
Hey, I get this week off. What can I say?
Yeah, okay, but they're talking about recently. What have you been doing with you? Like since the last time you saw them, they're going to be asking, what have you been doing with yourself? And so they mean, since the last time I saw you, how do you spend your time? He estado practicando mucho. He estado jugando videojuegos. Please don't tell that. Don't let that be your first sentence. Your mom's going to be all embarrassed. That's all we do. We homeschool, but really it's just video games. He estado estudiando mucho, or he estado estudiando, you can say historia, matemáticas, history, math. If you're somebody who likes to read a lot, you can say leyendo. That's reading. Leer, you see the verbs, how they all come from that. If you help your dad out at a shop or for work, Ayudando, that's from the verb ayudar. Oops, another mess up. Ayudando. So don't do all of them. Choose one or two that you actually are going to say. He estado practicando mucho. He estado practicando mi español. He estado jugando. No, no, no. No he estado jugando. He estado practicando. Yeah, I'm a good homeschooler.
What about drawing? Because I do that all the time.
Drawing. Dibujando. So you just take the verb dibujar and then change the AR. So if it's an AR verb, I'll put it down here. It's pretty easy, actually. All the AR verbs, you drop off that AR and you add ando. That's like the ING form. If it's an ER or IR verb, they're besties and they share everything. Aren't they nice? They don't share everything, but they share a lot. And so these guys are the I and the E. See, you got the I and the E. Yendo. So ando for AR, yendo for ER and IR, and that's the ING form. So you can see that ING, ING. Now look at this, leer. If we have an I between two E's, that's funky and weird. So we change it to a Y. Leyendo. Estudiando. Jugando. If you know what, like if you want to be funny, you can say he estado comiendo. I've been eating. That's what I've been doing. I've been eating a lot. He estado comiendo mucho. But it'll be super cool for them to ask you, hey, what have you been doing lately? And you go say, he estado practicando, or he estado, whatever. So we're going to practice he estado, and you can squish it together. I want y'all to make sure you know you're saying two words, but really it sounds like estado. It's just, you don't even hear this part because look, it's an E and it's an E. So it's just estado, whatever. So let's practice that a few times. Estado, estado, estado. So it just sounds like estado. Girls, it doesn't matter. I think I have a couple of girls on here. Maybe not. Megan, are you here? Anna, not Megan. That's the mama's name. Anna. Anna's here. Good. Okay. So it doesn't change. Estado doesn't change because it's a participle of a verb. It's not an adjective. All right. So if I ask you, now I'm going to ask you in Spanish. Probably your grandma's not going to ask you in Spanish, but I say, ¿Qué has estado? And then I will say, what have you been doing? Does anybody remember how to say to do or to make? It's a go-go verb in the present tense. All right, let's hacer. And so to make it ing, it's haciendo. So what has estado? ¿Qué has estado haciendo? ¿Qué has estado haciendo? What have you been doing? And that's just kind of like you making a sandwich, or what have you been doing? Any kind of cosas. ¿Qué has estado haciendo? ¿Qué has estado haciendo? What have you been doing? All right, so I ask and you're going to answer. Let's make sure we can say all these words. Repiten, por favor. Practicando. He estado jugando. He estado estudiando. He estado leyendo. He estado ayudando. He estado dibujando. That's drawing. Ayudando is helping. I think there are others you know pretty well. Playing, it's just like that thingy right there. I don't know. Como eso. That's pretty good, right? Of course, yours is probably wireless. Estado comiendo. Gotta do my dude with the nose. Arr, 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 and the funky hair. Estado haciendo. Well, that's I have been doing. So haciendo won't work. I have been doing. It doesn't work unless you say like estado haciendo un sándwich. I've been making a sandwich. Estado haciendo un sándwich. It's hard. It takes a long time. Okay, ¿qué has estado haciendo?
He estado leyendo libros.
Muy bien. He estado leyendo mucho, o he estado leyendo muchos libros. Mis libros favoritos. Libros grandes y impresivos y increíbles. Excelente, Jake. ¿Alguien más? ¿Qué has estado haciendo?
Estado viviendo,
Very close. Dibujando.
dibujando.
Muy bien. So you take the verb dibujar, to draw, dibujar, and we make it ing. So one more time. Estado dibujando.
Estado dibujando.
Okay, I'm gonna stretch you one more time. Estado dibujando mucho.
Estado dibujando mucho.
Excelente, buen trabajo. So anytime you trip up on a word, that's a really great way to practice it. Because if we practice the same thing again and again, we a lot of times just make that same mistake. But if you add another word to focus on, your brain will often fix that because they're focused on the new part. But have you ever done that where you try to do it again, but all you can do is focus on that mistake, and so you just end up doing it again and again, and it gets worse. So, estado dibujando mucho. Good job, Caleb. Buen trabajo. That was perfect. All right, Joey, ¿qué has estado haciendo?
Estado. Hang on, I got to pin you again. I always forget to pin you. He estado jugando.
Okay, estado jugando. So the G,
Jugar.
yeah, there you go. So the verb is jugar, and it keeps all its same noises. So I know what you're trying to. You're like thinking, is that a G? Is that an H noise? And it's not. Whenever it's ga, gu, and go, those are the hard sounds. Jugando. So one more time. Estado jugando.
Estado jugando.
Muy bien. And is it videojuegos or baloncesto or qué?
Just toys.
Okay, just hanging out and playing. Like con mis amigos, con mis hermanos, con mi familia. That's another great way to finish this off.
Con mi familia.
Muy bien. He estado jugando con mi familia. Gracias. Okay, Levi or Ana, ¿qué has estado haciendo? You wanna try? No? Okay. Estado practicando. Estado leyendo. All right, so your job this week, before Turkey Day comes and somebody squeezes your cheeks and tells you how big you've gotten and oh my, how you've grown. And then they say, what have you been doing lately? Write down on a little scrap of paper somewhere. You can just rip it off of your piece of paper here, whatever, and you're gonna write estado. If you want to write all the words, that's fine. Or you can just write that word because you don't hear the E part. Estado, and then one thing. What would it be? So for me, I would say trabajando. He estado trabajando mucho. So when my long lost aunt comes and squeezes my cheeks and pats me on the head and says, oh my goodness, you've changed so much. What have you been doing lately? He estado trabajando mucho. And she can, what? What? Are you speaking Spanish? Yes.
Sí.
Sí, excelente. And so then you can say, yeah, I actually, my teacher actually challenged me to answer you in Spanish. And so I just did. And they go, well, that was fantastic. What was your last lesson about? Dinosaurs. All right, does anybody still need this before I take it off and we go to the dinosaur part?
Dinosaurs.
Yes, okay, all right, I agree.
Dinosaur.